Ireland is known as a peaceful country. Green fields, pubs with traditional music, friendly faces. But beneath the postcard image, there are crimes so dark they still haunt the island decades later. Killers who were never caught. Families who still wait for answers. Tonight, we count down 5 unsolved murders that have never been solved. Cases where the killer walked away and never paid for what they did. Somebody out there knows the truth. They have carried it for years, and they have never told.
Number 5. Raonaid Murray. It was the night of Saturday, the 4th of September, 1999, in the quiet Dublin suburb of Glenageary. 17-year-old Raonaid was a bright, popular Leaving Cert student who loved music and was planning a career in writing. She had been out with friends at a pub in Dundalk. At around 11:20 p.m., she left to walk the 15-minute journey home alone along Silchester Road. She never made it. Her body was found in a narrow laneway between Silchester Road and her home just after midnight by a passerby. She had been stabbed multiple times. The attack appeared to be motiveless. She had not been robbed. Witnesses reported hearing a woman screaming and a man's voice arguing nearby, followed by silence. Despite one of the largest murder investigations in Irish history, with over 3,000 statements taken and more than 10,000 people interviewed, no one has ever been charged. Her family still visits the laneway on her birthday every year. The case remains open.
Number 4. Father Niall Molloy. Father Molloy was a 66-year-old Catholic parish priest from County Roscommon, a quiet man who said Mass for his parish and tended to his flock. On the night of Saturday the 7th of July, 1985, he was found dead in the bedroom of Kilcorsey House in Clara, County Offaly, the home of his friends Richard and Therese Flynn. He had been severely beaten about the head and body. He was dead when the doctor arrived. Richard Flynn was charged with manslaughter, but at his trial in 1986, the judge directed the jury to find him not guilty, saying the prosecution had failed to prove a case. The inquest into Father Molloy's death was heard in 2012 and returned an unlawful killing verdict, but no one has ever been convicted. Books and documentaries have alleged that Father Molloy may have been killed because he discovered financial irregularities connected to land deals or other matters involving people close to him. The case remains deeply controversial in the Irish Midlands.
Number 3. Seamus Ludlow. Seamus Ludlow was a 47-year-old forestry worker from Dundalk in County Louth. He was a quiet, well-liked bachelor who lived with his mother and had no connection to any paramilitary activity or political groups. On the night of Saturday, the 1st of May, 1976, he went out for a drink in Dundalk town. He was last seen walking home along the Thistlecross Road at around midnight. The next morning, his body was found in a ditch by children going to school. He had been shot 3 times and left under a hedge. The initial investigation by Garda was criticized heavily for focusing on the IRA and on rumors of him being an informer, rumors his family have always strongly denied. Decades later, the Historical Inquiries team in Northern Ireland concluded that Seamus Ludlow had been killed by loyalist paramilitaries from the Ulster Volunteer Force, including a British soldier who had been serving in the area, and that he was an entirely random victim. No one was ever charged. The family fought for decades for an inquest, which finally sat in 2019, but no prosecution followed.
Number 2. Baby John. The Kerry babies case is one of the most infamous stories in modern Ireland. In April of 1984, the body of a newborn baby boy, later known as Baby John, was found washed up on White Strand Beach near Cahersiveen in County Kerry. The baby had sustained multiple stab wounds. Garda began a murder investigation and soon arrested a young woman named Joanne Hayes, who lived on a farm in Abbeydorney and had recently been pregnant. Despite Joanne living 60 miles from Cahersiveen and her own baby having a different blood type from Baby John, Garda became convinced she was the mother. She was arrested and interrogated for days and eventually signed a confession that she later retracted. She was charged with murder, but the case against her collapsed in court when it was shown that Baby John had a different blood group. The mother of Baby John has never been identified. The killer has never been found. In 2024, a DNA-led renewed investigation was launched. As of today, the infant buried in a small grave in Cahersiveen has no name, and his killer walks free.
Number 1. Sophie Toscan du Plantier. This is the most famous unsolved murder in modern Ireland, a case that has divided West Cork for nearly 30 years. Sophie was a 39-year-old French television producer, married to the famous French film producer Daniel Toscan du Plantier. She was elegant, artistic, and had fallen in love with Ireland, buying a small, remote holiday house in the townland of Toormore near Shoal in West Cork. Just before Christmas 1996, she traveled alone to the house to spend a few quiet days writing. On the morning of the 23rd of December 1996, her body was found by a neighbor in a laneway near her house. She had been beaten to death with a blunt object, later determined to be a concrete block and a slate. A local journalist, Ian Bailey, became the chief suspect and was arrested twice, but he was never charged in Ireland. In 2019, he was tried in his absence in France and convicted of murder by a French court, but Irish authorities refused to extradite him. Bailey has always maintained his innocence. The case remains open. Whoever killed Sophie did not vanish into thin air. They were known to someone in that small, quiet community. They still are. In a country as small as Ireland, it seems impossible that someone could get away with murder. But they have, 5 times over. Raonaid Murray walking home on a Saturday night. Father Niall Molloy in a county house bedroom. Seamus Ludlow on a country road. Baby John on a beach. Sophie Toscan du Plantier in the West Cork laneway. Families waiting for answers that may never come. Someone out there knows something. A partner, a friend, a parent who has looked at a son or daughter for decades and wondered. Comment justice when you finish this video. Like and subscribe for more true terror. If you have information about any of these cases, contact the Garda Confidential Line. You could give a family the answer they've waited a lifetime for. Rest in peace.